Hi my dear students, Assalamu alaikum to all. Once again I warmly welcome to all in my class. In the last class we learn about the parts of flowers and the functions of flowers. Okay, today we are going to study about seed formation. We are going to study about seed formation. Of that all of you take page 35. You can see a picture of here. You can see a picture of here. This is the part of flower. Is it? Yes, this is the male part and the female part of the flower. The stigma and the filament ovary. We learned about this in the last class. Okay. So, we know that this is a hibiscus flower. This part is androecium part and this is stigma. This tip stigma and this gynoecium part. Yes, we learned this in last class. Is it? Okay, this white is style. Is it? Yes. Yes. Then how this seed formation occurs? Do you know how this seed formation occurs? There are certain process behind this. What are they? The male gamete from the pollen grain should reach the ovary. The male gamete from the pollen grains should reach the ovary. Do you know what is pollen grains? Pollen grains is the part of androecium. Pollen grains is the sticky part. This powdery part is the pollen grains. This is the male part of the flower. Is it? So, the male gamete from the pollen grains should reach the ovary. The male parts of the pollen grains should reach the ovary and fuse with the egg. Egg is seen in gynoecium, in female parts. Okay. The male gamete from the pollen grain should reach the ovary and fuse with the egg. Fusion of male gamete with the egg is called fertilization. This process is called fertilization. Fruit is formed in plants after fertilization. Fruit is formed in plants after fertilization. Okay. So then there are some questions. What is the male gamete seen in flowers? What is the male gamete seen in flowers? Yes, in pollen grains. You can write the answer in pollen grains. When can we see egg of a flower? What's the egg? Yes, ovary. In ovary we can see eggs. Where does fertilization takes place? Yes, that also takes place in ovary. Before that, first pollen grains come from anther, should reach the stigma for fertilization. Anther to stigma. How this happen? By insects or ants or wind, water. This anther reaches to stigma first. Then from this stigma it comes to ovary. Then have a fertilization occurs. Yes. Next page, all of you take page 36. Pollen grains from the anther should reach the stigma first. We learned that pollen grains from anther should reach the stigma first. This anther reach the stigma first. What is the path of this to the ovary? Yes, from stigma to ovary. You can draw with stigma to ovary. Okay. Who had this? There are some pictures. Who are there? Yes, honeybees, butterflies, parrots, etc. has to come anther to the stigma. Is it? Yes. So, this process is known as pollination. What is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains of anther to the stigma is called pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma is called pollination. Then the factors that help pollination is known as what is pollinating agent. Factors that help pollination is called pollinating agents. Name the organisms help for this, or what are the pollinating agents? Yes, we know that butterfly, dragonfly, bees, some insect, small birds, moth, beetle, like that. There are the factors. Next, what are the peculiarities seen in flowers to attract pollinating agent? What are the peculiarities of flowers? Yes, flowers have a good color, have a color, fragrance and nectar. That's why attract other insects, birds to the plants. Small flowers can seen in bunches. Small flowers can seen in bunches. If the flower is not attractive, other parts of the flower is have attractive like that. And the surface of pollen grain sticky and rough. These are some the qualities of flowers. Okay. Next, there are some pictures of flowers: lantana, musanda, bougainvillea. Small flowers grow as inflorescence. Why? Why? Because to attract by pollinating agent. Then what is the advantages of leaves surrounding of a musanda flower? Yes, that also to attract pollinating agent. Other parts in bougainvillea that change color flowers? No. Next, what is the peculiarities of other flowers? You know what are the peculiarities of other flowers in our surroundings? Ixora. Ixora also seen in small bunches. Is it? Then hibiscus have color and nectar. Rose have attractive color. Jasmine white color. And jasmine flower? Yes. White color and very good smell, fragrance. The musanda, another parts are attractive. Okay, like that you also collect some information about other flowers. Only this insects or birds is the agent of pollinating agent? No. What are the other? How do the pollen grains of paddy reach the stigma? In page 37. How do the pollen grains of paddy reach the stigma? Through wind. Through wind. So, wind, water are also a pollinating agent. Okay, water and wind are also pollinating agent. In paddy, wheat, maize, etc. have the agent what? Pollinating agent wind. But in pepper, pollinating agent is water. In pepper, pollinating agent is water. So, in which season pepper grows? In which season pepper takes place in pollination? Yes, in rainy season. Got it? Okay. Next, on this page you can see that some questions and a table have a slight weight of pollen grains. Which one is light weight of pollen grains? Here have in a table water, moth, wind, honeybees. Okay, before that, what are the certain features of flowers in through the wind, pollinating agent through the wind? Because have large number of pollen grains. In paddy, large number of paddy, maize, etc. have wheat, etc. have large number of pollen grains, and pollen grains have light weight. Light weight. That's why it can transfer through wind. Is it? Okay. Then light weight pollen grains. Light weight pollen grains. Which one is correct? Yes, wind. Through wind. Next, colorful flowers. Colorful flowers. Which one is suitable here? Yes. For colorful flowers, who is pollinating agent? Yes, honeybee. Given here. Then next, white flowers that bloom at night. So it can see easily white flowers that bloom at night. Yes, moth. Then pollination in moisture. Which one? Yes, you know that water. All of you complete this table. Next, artificial pollination. This everything is natural pollination. Next, we are going to study about artificial pollination. What is artificial pollination? Pollen grain from superior qualities. Pollen grains from superior quality plants are collected and dusted on the stigma of the other plants to produce high quality seeds. So, artificial pollination occurs for this process. Now, we learn that the anther transfer to stigma. If all situations is necessary that the pollen grains of particular flower should fall on the stigma of the same kind? No. They may fall on stigma of different flowers. In that time, pollination become effective and other flowers, if anther of flower went to where stigma, is that time pollination occurs? No. We can check. First one, if pollination become effective, you put tick mark. First, pollen grains of pumpkin flower falling on the stigma of ashgard flower. Pollen grains of pumpkin flower is come to the ashgard flower. Stigma of the ashgard flower. Is pollination effective? No. Here does not happen in pollination. Next, pollen grains of ashgard flower falling on the stigma of another ashgard flower. Pollen grains of ashgard flower pollinating to the flower falling on the stigma of another ashgard flower. That is same flower. Here have effective pollination occurs? Yes. Here have a effective pollination occurs. That means the pollination become effective when the pollen grains fall from on the stigma of flower of the same kind. If the same kind of flower will happen, pollination. If pollen grains that fall on the stigma of other kind, pollination does not occur. That may get destroyed. See? Okay. So, pollination become effective when the anther of pollen grains fall on the stigma of the same kind. When the anther of pollen grains come to the stigma on the same kind, fall on the stigma on the same kind, that time pollination occurs. Okay. Next, in page 38, you can see the pollination of some pictures. First, self-pollination of hibiscus flower. We know that in a hibiscus flower, they have androecium and gynoecium, have same flower. So, here have self-pollination takes place of same flower in a plant. And also another, in a plant, different flowers in same plant. Pollination occurs, that also known as self-pollination. Next to cross-pollination. Cross-pollination, flowers of one flower, one plant with flowers of another plant pollination occurs, that is cross-pollination. So, what is the definition of self-pollination and cross-pollination? Okay. So, what is the definition of self-pollination and cross-pollination? Self-pollination, the transfer of pollens from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower or from the anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower in the same plant is called self-pollination. The transfer of a pollens from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower or from the anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower in the same plant is called self-pollination. Then what is cross-pollination? The transfer of a pollens from the anther of the one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same kind is called cross-pollination. The transfer of a pollens from the anther of the one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same kind is called cross-pollination. These are the definition of self-pollination and cross-pollination. It is not having the textbook. So, all of you must write this in your notebook. Okay. Yes. Next, after fertilization, you can see that withering of petals. Is it? Yes. After fertilization, withering of petals occurs. Then which are the parts have left? Yes, pedicel, thalamus also are left. We can see that at page 39, parts of the flower and changes. Parts of the flower and changes. Pedicel. What change occurs in pedicel? Yes, after fertilization it become hard. It become hard. Then thalamus. What happened thalamus? Yes, thalamus also become more hard. Become more hard. Then calyx. Calyx also become more hard. The last, corolla. What happened corolla? Yes, it withers. Corolla withers after fertilization. Is it? Yes. Next, in page 40, we can see that Ashgaard flowers and Ashgaard longitudinal and cross section here. Here, Ashgaard flower have ovule and ovary. Yes. Then which part grows into seed? Ovule or ovary? Yes. Ovule changes into seed. Ovule changes into seed and ovary changes into fruit. That you understand. Ovule changes into seed. The ovule of flower changes into seed and ovary changes into what? Fruit. Ovary changes into fruit. Is it? Yes. Then you can see that mango flower here. Mango flower have an ovary and an ovule. An ovary and an ovule. So, in mango have how many fruit? Yes, in a flower it make one fruit and in a flower it make one seed because it have one ovule. One ovule it produce one seed. One ovary it produce one fruit. But in tomato flower ovary one, so one fruit, but ovule more than one ovule have. Many more ovule have in which one? Yes, tomato flower have many ovules. So it have one seed. Is it have one seed? No, in tomato there are so many seeds. Why? Because it have many ovules. Is it? Yes. So only one fruit is formed in each flower. This flower is called simple fruits. Only one fruit in each flower. Simple fruit. Now we are going to study about different types of fruits. Simple fruits, multiple fruit, aggregate fruit and false fruit. First, simple fruit. Only one fruit is formed from each flower. These fruits are called simple fruits. What are the examples? Pear, mango, etc. The examples for simple fruits. Because how many seeds are there in mango? Because one seed seen in mango. Why does tomato have only one seed? No, tomatoes have more than one seed. What's the reason? Because tomatoes have more than one ovules. That means tomatoes have many ovules. So it have many seeds. Okay. Next, what is next? Aggregate fruit. What is aggregate fruit? If more than one fruit is formed from a flower, such fruits are called aggregate fruit. If more than one fruit is formed a flower, such fruits are called which fruit? Aggregate fruits. Because it have more than one ovary. It have more than one ovary, so it have more than one fruit. Is it? Yes. What are the examples? Custard apple, blackberry. Custard apple, blackberry, etc. The examples of aggregate fruits. Next, jackfruit. Jackfruit. Do you see flowers of jackfruit? It is very small. It's seen by hand lens. Seen by hand lens. There are hundreds of flowers having jackfruit tree. There are hundreds of flowers having jackfruit. Every flowers is changed into jackfruit or jackfruit? No. Yes. Then what happen? Is such fruit is each such fruit is changed into chakachula. Is it? Yes, chakachula. There are so many chakachula and chakakuru having jackfruit. Is it? Yes. And seed. That seed is changed into chakakuru and fruit flowers changed into chakachula. Is it? Yes. So this type of fruits are known as multiple fruits. These type of fruits are known as multiple fruits. So what is multiple fruits? Multiple fruits are fruits that grow from more than one flower and that are combined into a single structure. Yes. Do you know what is jackfruit? Yes. It is a simple structure, but it has so many chakachula and chakakuru have. Is it? So, yes, multiple fruits are fruits that grow from more than one flower that are combined into a single structure. Multiple fruits example, jackfruit, pineapple. Is it all fruits turn into chakachula? No. Somebody is turned into chakachuvani. Is it? Yes. Next type, false fruit. False fruit. We learned that ovary is changed into fruits. But in some plants, not ovary changed into fruits. Other parts of the flowers changed into fruits. What are they? Yes. You can see that in page 42 in cashew flowers. In cashew flowers, pedicels changed into fruit. Pedicels changed into fruit. In this type of fruits, the seed is formed outside. This seed is formed in outside. You see this cashew nut in outside. This fruit is developed from pedicel. So this type of fruit is known as false fruit. In some plants, parts like pedicel, thalamus, etc. develops into fruits-like structures. These are called false fruits. These are called false fruits. What are the examples? Apple, cashews, etc. The examples of false fruits. These are the examples of false fruits. Then page 43, you can see strawberry, chili, arecanut. Okay. Then flowers are seen in inflorescence. Which one is match here? Strawberry, chili or arecanut? No. Is strawberry? No. Chili? No. Arecanut. Because flowers are seen in arecanut inflorescence. That's type it like inflorescence. Arecanut is matched with the flowers are seen in inflorescence. Then next is strawberry. Strawberry, more than one ovary in a flower. That match with the strawberry. More than one ovary in a flower. Next to chili. Flowers are seen one by one, single flower. That is chili. Flowers are seen one by one. That is matched with the chili. Is it? Okay. These are the main facts studying this chapter. Okay. So, today we learn about there are 4 types of fruits. There are 4 types of fruits. What are they? Simple fruits, aggregate fruits, multiple fruits and false fruits. What is simple fruits? Only one fruit is formed from each flower. These fruits are called simple fruits. Example, pear, mango. Aggregate fruit. If more than one fruit is formed from a flower, such fruits are called aggregate fruit. Custard apple, blackberry, etc. the examples. Then multiple fruits. Multiple fruits are fruits that grow from more than one flower that are combined into a single structure. Multiple fruits are fruits that grow from more than one flower that are combined into a single structure. What are the examples? Jackfruit, pineapple fruit, etc. are the examples. Then false fruit. In some plants, parts like the pedicel, thalamus, etc. develops into fruits like structure. These are called false fruit. In some plants, parts like pedicel, thalamus, etc. develops into the fruits like structure. These are called false fruits. Example, apple, cashews. The next we will learn about self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. How this fertilization occurs, that also we learn today. The male gamete from the pollen grains should reach the ovary and fuse with the egg. Fusion of male gamete with the egg is called fertilization. Yes, this have learned today. Now, we finish our chapter. Today, we finish our chapter. What are the important things in this chapter? Yes, first we learn about the parts of the flower. What are the main parts of the flower? Androecium, corolla, gynoecium, calyx, thalamus, pedicel, etc. the parts of the flower. Then we learn about that the different functions of each part. Different functions of each part. Then we learn about androecium, gynoecium. Androecium is the male part of the flower and gynoecium is the female part of the flower. And last, today we learn about this type of fruits and cross-pollination, self-pollination, etc. Yes. Now we finish our chapter and class. Okay, I hope all of you understand today's class. All of you should write this in your notebook and send to me, and all of you study well. Thank you.